We do this. Today I do remember. Usually I forget. Okay. Okay, go ahead, William.
Namo, fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo, fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo, fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to hold and receive it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Good. Let's see where we at that time. I am not quite sure, but okay. Did you remember where we at? Okay.
Let's see. Okay, King of the
We learned about the Devata, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You speak to the Devata if you read my words. The way of policy, the person for them.
Did you learn about Ubali come from the lowercase?
We didn't. I don't think we talked about it, but I think this may be the paragraph that we're on now.
Yeah, Ubali, you know who he is?
It's not the young boy who took care of the water buffalo, right? And offered Buddha the grass.
No. This is the one who do the haircut of the royal family.
Oh.
But he come from the low case. But he are allowed to do the haircut because he's very skillful.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
That's unusual for that time.
That means that he do it for who? For the second royal family. That means the Buddha's kingdom, right?
So King Suddhodana
Right.
was a little more flexible than perhaps some other people in that time then.
Yeah, I guess so. And remember, they have to be very kind, right? In order, they have to be virtue and kind to have a son like the Buddha. Right? It's not easy to become a parent of the Buddha.
Right.
You have to have enough blessing and virtue. So, all right. So he is one of the 10 greatest Buddha disciple, and he the master of the Vinaya basket, the master of Vinaya basket. He the one.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
O great king, if you believe in my words, please speak to the Tathagata. If you believe in my words, weigh up well what I say. O great king, the all Buddha world honored one covers all with great compassion. He does not love only one person. Wonderful Dharma reigns widely. There is no one who is not taken in by it. His mind is all equal towards the hostile and the friendly. His mind does not hate and does not love. It is not the case that only one person gains the way and others do not. The Tathagata is not merely the teacher of the 4 classes of the Sangha alone. He is the teacher of all gods, humans, nagas, demons, hell dwellers, animals, and hungry ghosts. And all beings should look up to the Buddha as they look up to their own father and mother. O great king, know that it is not the case that the Tathagata only speaks of Dharma to the noble king Bhadrika. He even addresses the lowly Upali. He does not only accept offerings from Sudatta, Anatha, Pindada, but also accepts food from the poor Sudatta. He does not only speak of Dharma to sharp-witted Shariputra, but also to dull-witted Sudi Pantaka. He does not only allow such a greedless person as Mahakasyapa to enter the order, but also such a person as greedy as Nanda. He does not only allow such an illusion-free person as Uruvilva Kasyapa to seek the way, but also one full of illusion who has committed grave deadly sins like Sudaya. the younger brother of King Prasenajit. It is not the case that he extracts the root of anger because one offers him the galingale, but abandons a person who means to do harm. He does not only speak of Dharma to intellectual males, but also to the lowest in life, those who are married and females. He not only enables Shramanas to attain the 4 fruitions of the way, but also enables lay people to gain the 3 fruitions of the way. He does not only present Dharma to a person who has abandoned the odd duties of life, such as the Putala and others, and who seek to meditate in quiet quarters, but also to such as King Bimbisara, who has to reign over a state. It is not the case that Dharma is spoken only to teetotalers, which would be people who don't drink any alcohol, but it is also spoken to those lost in strong drinks, like the rich man Ugravati and the intoxicated. It is not the case that Dharma is spoken of only to those who sit in jhana meditation like Ravata, but also to the Brahmin woman Vasitha, who is now mad after losing her child. It is not the case that his sermons are only preached to his own disciples, but also to Tirthikas, Nirgranthas, and others. It is not the case that Dharma is preached only to those of full manhood, age 25, but also to the elderly, as old as 80, who are weak in physique. He does not only preach to those who are closely connected with Buddha Dharma, but also to those who are not very well up in the practice of the way. He does not only preach to Malika, but also to such a prostitute as Utpala. He does not only receive the offerings of best dishes and sweet things from King Prasenajit, he also receives those of the rich man Srigupta, which contain poison. O great king, Srigupta in days gone by sowed the seeds of deadly sins. But after having met the Buddha and having listened to his sermons, he aspired to unsurpassed enlightenment.
Good, stop right there. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is showing how the Buddha doesn't make distinctions between worthy and unworthy. The Buddha preaches to anyone, regardless of their station, accepts offerings from anyone, regardless of their station, doesn't make a distinction between the young or the old, female or male, doesn't play favorites. So his compassion encompasses all living beings, not even limited to human beings. So it's really about the kind of the equal-mindedness of the Buddha.
Yeah, equality, right? Equality, something.
Yeah, equanimity. I'm not sure if equanimity is the right word.
Really?
Because equanimity, I think, is when, like with the part where it's talking about with hostility or praise, not reacting to either of those if someone's praising us or hostile to us, that matches equanimity. But I think when you're talking about like preaching to males and females equally, maybe there's a word, I think it's like, equanimous. I'm not sure.
No, they call this word, I think I remember. Equanimity, right? Is that the word? I'm not too sure. Okay, anyway. So you remember one of the chapter in this lotus flower? It said that the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Buddha teaching, it's just like the raining in the forest, right?
Yes.
In the forest, that means we all have all kind of tree, plant, big, huge, medium size, small size, tiny plant or grass or whatever. When the rain come down, depend on those capacity, they can be able to absorb that much of rain. That means all the plant in the forest it benefit from the raining. So that what the Buddha teaching is mean. Everyone benefit from it. Okay, good. That's good. Keep going. So that means he give a lot of good scenario to the king. You know who's speaking this?
This is the doctor.
Yeah, the
Uh,
doctor. The doctor.
yeah.
The doctor name is what is the doctor name? I forgot his name. Here, Chivaka.
Yeah. Mm.
Chivaka. Chivaka. Okay. All right, keep going.
O great king, even if one were to make offerings for a month to all beings, the merit would not compare to 1/16 of that of meditating single-mindedly upon the Buddha. O great king, though one were to work gold and make a man and put on, bestow, display vehicles and horse treasures 100 in number, this could not compare to a person who aspires to enlightenment and takes a step towards the Buddha. O great king, even though one might put on 100 carts drawn by elephants, bearing various rare treasures from Roman lands, and women with items of jewelry as many as 100, such could not compare to aspiring to Bodhi and taking a step towards the Buddha. Or even if one were to give this and the four things, food, clothing, decoctions, and accommodation, to all the beings of the 3,000 great thousand worlds, this could not compare to aspiring to enlightenment and taking a step towards the Buddha. Furthermore, if we gave dana to beings as innumerable as the sands of the Ganges, this would never be better than the great kings going to where the twin sal trees stand, to where the Tathagata is, and listening with the sincerest heart to what he says.
What do you think?
Yeah, so this is saying that what is of primary importance is practicing the way, and that the cultivation of blessings is can be distinct from practicing the way. So if someone is truly sincere in listening to the Buddha and applying those teachings, well, and they have the resources, the natural expression of understanding those teachings is to be generous. But if someone is not sincere about the teachings, but just wishes to attain benefit for themselves in future lives by cultivating blessings through giving, well, then they haven't really attained the way. And that's to say there's a phrase that goes something like, some say to cultivate, this was from Hui Ning, the sixth patriarch, I think. Some say to cultivate, to practice for blessings is practice of the way. But then it goes on, I don't remember the exact wording, but it goes on to dispute that it's better to actually to apply the teachings and practice them.
But in here, the Buddha said that even though we accumulate all the good deeds come from that we do give out to the 3,000, 8,000 world. You know what does that mean? This is represent for the Sahara world of the Buddha, of the second Buddha. That means that he the one he hosts of the 3,000, 8,000 world. Even though we give out to many beings in this 3,000, 8,000 world, do not compare to the one who aspiring, right? Aspiring to the enlightenment. It doesn't mean that he enlightened, right?
Right.
He not yet enlightened, but he aspired. That means he wished to go in that direction, right?
Right.
So that means it's all the good deed that the person who cultivate for the good deed, like to giving out to all the being in the 3,000 world, cannot compare to the one who have a wish to gain enlightened to the Buddha. That means the body mind, the unsurpassed body, right?
Right.
But how do we explain that in terms of the one who do not have Buddhist knowledge?
Very hard.
Very hard. You have to work harder.
Yes, sir. You have to you have to do a lot of provide them more and more information, example, what the Buddha teaching for them to understand and even think about it. That's
Think
what my thought is.
uh, 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 William, anyway, any idea?
Ideas with how to help people understand.
Yeah, understand this one.
Which
How
part?
how do we compare? But the Buddha said that the person who do all the good deeds to give and now to all the being in the
Yeah.
3,000, 8,000 world cannot
Mhm.
compare to the one after admiring the enlightenment to
Yeah. Well, I think because the person who doesn't aspire to enlightenment and move towards the Buddha is still attached to things in the world, still sees that that's what's most important. The aspiring to enlightenment is recognizing that there's something more important, that attachment to things of the world and seeking things in the world is not of primary importance. There's a deeper reality that if we understood that reality, we wouldn't be attached to things.
Okay.
And then that is like the seed. That's the seed. I mean, the aspiration for enlightenment is the seed of enlightenment. And then that's going to result in blessings just rippling out from that person. If they on their way to attaining enlightenment, and when they do attain it, they're just constantly a source of blessings for the people around them, because they're ending karma for people. They're not returning. If something bad is done to them, they're not then doing it to other people, and they're going to be end up teaching people, and they're going to be example of peace. And so they're going to have this ripple effect that will go way beyond someone who doesn't aspire to enlightenment but gives, even if they give extensively.
When the people who doing the giving extensively, but they do not have the mind toward to the Buddha teaching, do you think that for them, when they enjoy the blessing, do you think they be able to distinguish between the ignorant and wisdom in the way that I explained to you?
No.
I don't think so. Therefore, due to the ignorant, they will pray karma. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how much blessing you have, even the king of the god, Saka, right? Once he enjoy all the blessing, he fall into the three evil men. Because if he do not have a connection with the Buddha, but for the Saka, he a little bit different. He do have, therefore he be able to escape. But what about many other? They do not have it, and they will be in the cycle of suffering, endless cycle. They won't be able to get out. Doesn't matter how we can be born into the very high heaven. Yes, after a long billion year, yes, you enjoy it. Then you go down. So what is the point of creating good deed without the mind toward to the Buddha teaching? But when the one who have the mind toward to the Buddha teaching, that means he about to enter the ocean of wisdom. This is important. Even though he drink just a little bit of the water in the ocean, but the taste that he had from the little water from the ocean, is that the same taste with the whole ocean? Yeah,
Missed it.
the same thing.
Yes.
So he will enjoy. Eventually, that means when we have the mind true with the Buddha, that means the Bodhicitta, that means we have the direction. When we have the direction due to our vow we make, doesn't matter after we die, we be born into many lives after that. We never fall back into, we never, we always belong to the Buddha and Bodhisattva relative. Because we are the one who have that mind. And we keep practicing. Because when we enter into the ocean of wisdom, we be able to see the value and we be able to enjoy and practice it. We accumulate in this direction. Therefore, it's our number of blessing compared to the other. When the wisdom, when we perform good deeds with the wisdom, and the person who perform good deeds with no wisdom, nothing can compare. This is important. So, therefore, it's not easy for us in this day, in this lifetime, in our modern age right now, to have affinity to learn the Buddha teaching. Not easy at all. And not easy to have the strong faith into the Buddha teaching, especially from the Theravada. They don't have that. Because they're so conservative. And they only believe in the Nikaya Sutra, that means the Pali, written scripture. But they do not respect the Mahayana Sutra. And they already cut off the good teaching from the Mahayana. And now they never have a chance to get near to it because the mindset they have. That means they lose the whole ocean of the wisdom. Don't even talking about the non-Buddhism, talking about the Theravada. Because I also heard the lay people and the monk and the monk, after they practiced the Theravada meditation, they came back and they cursing the Mahayana teaching. That's crazy. That means before they are Mahayana. And they say that the Mahayana teaching does not help them to lessen their suffering. Is that because of the Buddha teaching or because of who? What do you think?
Yeah, I wonder what they would attribute that to. What difference in the teaching that helps? Because everything that's like the Mahayana encompasses the Theravada too.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's excluded.
No, but on the Mahayana, it's more profound meaning, more profound in the mind.
But it's interesting that they would, because if you've already been learning in Mahayana teachings, like what going to Theravada, since the Theravada is already included within the Mahayana, like what would they be gaining or be saying is the difference that was keeping them from not suffering? I could see if they didn't want to practice good deeds for other people and they wanted to just focus on themselves, then they could interpret it as, oh, I'm stressed out because I feel like I need to help people, but I just want to be alone and meditate. And the Theravada makes it easier for someone to simply like focus on themselves.
Because most of the Theravada teaching is focused on self practicing. And they are very good at that. That is good. We need that to cultivate. We need to have a method to cultivate. But beside the practice, we need to have the mind of beyond the practice. This is the bodhicitta they do not have. Yes, before they read the Mahayana Sutra, but they do not understand the core meaning of it. And they only focus on because the suffering they have. They cannot be able to use that to liberate their suffering. But when they practice the meditation, it's good, it helps them. That is a good thing, nothing wrong with that. But remember, the Buddha teaching is just like the sun. Everyone can see the sun except for who cannot see the sun.
People underneath
Blind
the cloud
people.
or on the other side of the earth.
No,
Or blind people.
the blind people.
I'm blind. Yeah.
The people who fly. Is that because of the sun problem or because of who?
Because of them, they cannot see it because they're blind. Not the problem of the sun.
Yeah, that means we are fly. We cannot see the sun. That is not the sun problem. Our problem. Right? So that's important. Okay. Anyway, we stop right here. My teacher come down already. William. Okay, they're gonna stop right here. All right, William. We stop right now. Let's see. But today we have a good discussion, right? That's really good. And Jimmy, go ahead.
Many every living beings, our minds at one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with heart of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because of our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, William. So hopefully see you next week. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.